Hello and welcome back, everybody. And we are going to have another amazing discussion. And big welcome to Alison again. And
Hi.
we are going to go through, to start with, we thought we'd go through some tea tree. So big welcome and thanks for listening in today. And I'll hand it over to Alison to tell us all the wonderful powers of tea tree oil.
Brilliant. Yes. Okay. So lovely tea tree is probably the last one that I came to actually use in the top 10 kit because I'd actually had the most amount of experience with it, and because they weren't doTERRA oils, I hadn't had a particularly life-changing experience, and I thought, oh, that's an oil that doesn't really do too much. So I kind of is the oil that I ignored for the most amount of time in the box, and now it's probably maybe the top third most used oil in our house and on my body. So yeah, just the experience I had with that. Sorry about the sun coming in on my face. Yeah. Incredibly powerful oil. Absolutely love it. So it's also known as melaleuca. So if you see melaleuca written anywhere, it's the same as tea tree. So amazing for the skin. We use it in our sort of owie blend. So anything that happens to the skin, any rash or any discomfort or any cuts or grazes or anything like that. So frankincense, lavender and tea tree is just your go-to skin care recipe. You'll make up a little spray in a little bottle like this, and then with the fractionated coconut oil, and then the coconut oil is so thin, the fractionated coconut oil is so thin that it will spray through those little bottles. So that's amazing. My middle daughter, she's in France at the moment, and I gave her a little keychain of oils to take with her, and there were only a few in there, just the basics, just so she had something to cover everything, and that was one of those in there. So yeah, frankincense, lavender and tea tree, amazing. And I do, if I get any spots that come up on my face, if I don't touch them and do nothing and I'm very good and restrained, I'll just put a little bit of the Purify blend, which isn't in this kit. It's an oil I actually mostly use in my laundry, but I'll put a little bit of that, just dab a little bit of that on the spot, and it will disappear within sort of 24 hours. It's just gone. But if I'm not restrained and I've picked it or looked at it or just like been a bit incurious about it, it always doesn't end well. But in that case, I'll put a little bit of tea tree on, and it just dries it right out, kills off any infection. It just sort of puts a nail in it, and then that heals up very quickly as well. And then I'll use something like the frankincense or Correctex ointment that then heals the skin very beautifully afterwards. So yeah, fantastic for the skin. It's also in our Flume Bomb. So it's very potent. It's in our, so if you're not feeling well at all, we have our immunity blend. So our Flume Bomb, which is the frankincense, lemon, on guard, oregano, and then it's M or T at the end, which is melaleuca or tea tree. So Flume or Flute, call it the Flu Bomb, but Flute or Flume Bomb. And that goes on the feet. It's again diluted in the coconut oil. Put it on the feet, put it on the spine. You can put it in the veggie caps that we've spoken about. And so yeah, it's a key component of that because it's very powerful. Just killer off of things that aren't supposed to be in the body. Basically, it's just a very powerful antiseptic. And I actually use it. I feel if I get sort of the swollen glands around my neck, I'll use the Flu Bomb, but I always just get the tea tree in coconut oil and put it. I have one just on my bedside table, because so even sometimes in the night I'm like, oh, I've got a bit of a sore throat, and I'll just put that all around my neck and my ears, and it's just magical. And I'll even I'll take a drop into under my tongue or just to the back of the throat if I feel anything in there.
It's just one drop each.
One drop of tea tree. Yeah.
No, to make the Flu Bomb. Yeah,
well, the Flu Bomb, with the dilution ratios is 2 mils of carrier oil to 1 drop of essential oil. So a bottle this size, this is a 15 ml bottle. So we want about 7 or 8 drops in total of essential oil. So with the Flu Bomb, there's 5 oils in that. So you'd say, okay, let's just put 2 drops of each. So 2 drops of frankincense, 2 lemon, 2 oregano, 2 on guard, 2 tea tree. So you've got 10 drops total in there, and then fill it up with the coconut oil. So this depends on the size of the bottle. If you've got the veggie caps where you make up your own little pills of them, you can put a drop of each in there with a little bit of olive oil. That's quite a lot. That's 5 drops of oil. So that's quite a lot of oil to be taking internally. It is okay. You can take up to 20 drops internally of essential oil a day. But what I do is I make up a master blend. So I'll get an empty bottle of On Guard or one of the Flu Bomb oils, like a bottle that's run out, and I'll put maybe 50 drops of each of those oils in, and that's then my master blend of the flu bomb.
Oh, okay.
And I'll put some masking tape around it and put flu on it or something, and then I'll just put, say, 2 drops of the master blend into a veggie cap. So I've got all 5 of the oils in there, but I've only got actually 2 drops of essential oil that I'm taking internally, if that makes sense. Hope it makes sense.
Yeah.
And when you join, we give you a starter. You've got your starter kit ebook where all the recipes are in there anyway, so you just follow along, and it's all written out exactly how many drops and what size containers and what that all looks like. So you're very much guided. But yeah, very powerful one for if you're not feeling well, or to kill things off, killing things off in the skin, killing things off in the body. Just very powerful in that way. And yeah, I had used it actually. The way I'd used it before I discovered doTERRA oils was after giving birth, I was told to put a few drops of tea tree on a sanitary pad to stop infection. And the smell of it actually sort of initially really reminded me of that, because but it didn't really do anything. It didn't really help, didn't really bring that much relief either. But now that I've got the doTERRA one, not that I ever recommend putting them on your private parts anyway, so I don't know where I'd read that somewhere on the internet, but it just didn't do anything. I actually, I recovered really, really slowly. But then having discovered the doTERRA one, it's very, very different, much more potent. Really does just kill off any infection, just a much more potent version of anything I've ever discovered. And the smell, you can smell it, it just smells so pure and so strong.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Yeah. So a couple of other ways to use them. It's really good for fungal infections as well. So a lot of people will use them on their toes if they have like a fungal infection there. Tea tree and oregano together are very powerful in that way. So again, just dilute with the coconut oil and apply that. If there's anything there, and that's really really good. Or if there's any fungal infection on the skin or on the scalp. So we use it for our nit treatment. It's really good at killing off nits as well. So I've got videos and that showing exactly how to make up those sorts of things, but we add it to our shampoo anyway, because it is just really fantastic at keeping everything very clean and lovely. So I usually add tea tree, lavender, patchouli, rosemary is very good for the hair as well. Clary sage is really nice. I'll put spearmint as well in the conditioner. So just lots of ways you can just boost that, the beautiful chemistry into your hair as well.
Is that like a particular shampoo and conditioner you're adding that to, or how? So are you using the doTERRA one or another one?
Well, I love the doTERRA shampoo and conditioner, but so do my children, and they use like a litre a day, and I can't keep up with it. So I love it. It's my favorite, and it's their favorite. But I have now just buy a base organic, and there's some really terrible ones out there that have got awful ingredients, even though they're organic and they have all the right things on the bottle. But we've found one that we use of just a base shampoo and a base conditioner that's reasonably priced, and I just add the oils into that, and so that's what they use, and that's what it works so well that I just use that as well. And then I have my secret stash of my doTERRA shampoo and conditioner that I'm not going to say where it is in case my children watch this.
Oh, bless.
So yeah, amazing for hair, and also amazing for the ears. So if you struggle with flying, with that air pressure, one of the beautiful ladies on our team, she works for one of the airlines in Australia and suffered her whole life with painful ears on flights. And she just made up a little roller of tea tree and lavender, and she rolls it around her ears before takeoff and before landing. And she said it's like a miracle, absolute game changer.
Oh, wow.
So that's really good. And any ear infection, now we never want to put the oils inside the ears. I did try it once with some lemon. I was like, lemon's such a good cleanser. Imagine how good it would be, just a little bit on a cotton tip. Oh my goodness, it hurt. It's so helpful. Don't do that. I just had to, it's like one of those, I know everyone says don't do it, but I just need to try it. And it's like, no, actually don't. So the vapor is enough. The vapor is enough. You just put a couple of drops on a cotton pad, one of the little discs, and place it over the ear. And the vapor is enough to kill off any infection, anything that's in there. So you might want to put a little bit of the coconut oil just on the ear, just in case it does touch it, just so that it is diluted. And then we use like a headband to secure it in. So with the kids, if they go back to sleep, they'll just have a headband sort of keeping it in place. Also basil, so tea tree and basil is what we use, but you know, they both work very well on the ear. And then we'll use a bit of copaiba, which is good for the pain. So usually do a drop of that under the tongue on the back of the neck, just to support, you know, while it's doing its job. But yeah, never inside the ears, never inside the nostrils or the eyes. If you do get any, and just use a carrier oil to wipe it away, not water, because water and oil don't mix, so it's actually going to sort of drive it further into the skin.
Right.
So you always want to use some sort of oil, even if you just in the kitchen. I've got peppermint in my eye before, and I just get a bit of olive oil, and I've wiped it over, and then just wipe the whole thing off, and it's amazing how quickly it feels good. So yeah, not in those sensitive parts. Same with your bits, pits, tits. Basically, they're the three things to sort of make sure heavily diluted or not at all. I mean, I use tea tree and patchouli is a really nice combination for making my own deodorant. That's probably my favorite combination. So really powerful, you know, killing off anything. So it's a good area for it to be in, but it's very diluted in the deodorant recipe. So, and all those recipes are in our Ditch and Switch. You know, all the recipe ebooks are there in the group that anyone can make any of their own stuff like that. So yeah, lots and lots of ways to use it. And there's, yeah, the recipe book give you hundreds of more ways that you can, or within the book and all the different resources we have. But the main thing I wanted to chat about with it is that actually it's a really good example of how the oils are sourced with doTERRA, because it's quite different with doTERRA compared to other companies. So tea tree, when they search the planet for the most potent, so we're not just talking about pure oils, we're talking about the potency and actually giving the best therapeutic results, you know, that just the best impact on the body in all the different ways that it's used. Where do you think the best tea tree was that they could find in the planet? Where would you imagine tea tree and eucalyptus come from the same place?
South American country?
No.
Oh.
No, Australia.
Oh.
So tea tree and eucalyptus are known for they grow almost like a weed in Australia, and that's because the environment is just so well suited to it. The soil's the right, the climate's right, everything about the environment in Australia actually produces really abundantly this the tea tree and eucalyptus as well. So that's where it's sourced, and that's really a key component of the doTERRA oils, is that they are sourced right across the globe from where they have that most potent output. So the lemons are sourced from Sicily, because we know there's lots of sunshine and it's, you know, everything's right about the environment there. The lavender sourced in Bulgaria, but in high altitude. So it's about, you know, they really look at all the different things that manage, you know, impact that output. So with other companies that are producing good essential oils that are actually pure, because I think we've spoken about before, it's really hard to actually even find pure essential oils, but here we're talking about the potency. So other companies that, you know, they'll often have a field, they'll have all the fields, say in America usually, and they'll have their lavender growing over there, and they'll have their lemons growing over there, and tea tree growing over there, but it's all the same climate, it's the same soil type, it's the same altitude, it's the same everything. But then they're saying, well, we have then complete control over it, which is a good thing because there's so much corruption in the industry. But with doTERRA, they know that even though they've got control of it, it's not producing the best therapeutic profile for the oil that's available. And so it's a much more complex, you know, business, because they source from almost 50 different countries.
Wow.
And some of those are developing countries, and they have different standards and different, you know, different this and different that, and everything's different. But what they really want is to have the best oil. That is just that's their real passion, and that's their focus and vision. So it is a difficult thing to you know, to pull together logistically. But they work directly with the farmers, so they also have complete control, because there's no middlemen. They're not just buying oils from somebody that grows it in, you know, a distributor. They work directly. They have doTERRA people on the ground work there with the farmers, so they can ensure the sustainability. They can ensure that, you know, they benefit from the generational wisdom and knowledge and expertise of those farmers and all the traditional farming practices. But they're also able to offer support and, you know, maybe other ways of looking at sustainability. So, for example, the frankincense, the farmers were over harvesting their frankincense because they wanted more money, but actually we have the knowledge to know that when you do that, it kills the tree, and then that's it, it's gone for generations to come. So it's about going in, and doTERRA will pay those farmers all year round, even though they only harvest it maybe 3 months of the year. So they'll pay them a fair wage throughout the year to do it in a proper way that's going to benefit them long term. So it's very, very complex, but it's a really beautiful model, and they call it co-impact sourcing because they want to impact both sides of the bottle. They really want to impact us having the best possible oils that are available on the planet, but they also really want to impact the growers. So of those almost 50 countries, over half of those are developing nations. So the vetiver is grown in Haiti, and we grow like the wintergreen and spikenard and a few oils in Nepal, and lots of different countries all around where there's in Egypt, they're working in Africa, they're trying to really build up as much support there as they can, finding what they went over to Africa and found there were these huge pink pepper trees that were just providing shade for the community, and when they visited, because they were visiting dealing with other oils, but they said, well, these trees, these pink peppers, do you use them for anything? And that, no, they just provide shade. So they took it back, they distilled it, and they found that actually it has amazing properties for breast tissue. Incredible properties for breast tissue. Highly recommend a drop of pink pepper in a capsule every day. So now they're like, right, well, you've got this amazing resource on your land, let's employ you. And they found the poorest people in the community and said, we want to support you, we give you the job, you pick the pink pepper trees. So they really work with wanting to uplift and elevate those communities, and that really is their heart and their mission, that they want to turn the essential industry on its oil industry on its head, where it's actually was a very corrupt industry, and it still is in many ways, apart from doTERRA, but they actually want to uplift these communities as much as possible. So they've now helped over 1 million people out of poverty in these developing communities, and their aim is to triple their impact by 2030. So that's their big global sort of mission as a company. So every time we use these oils, not only are we having all the benefits and all the amazing properties that they're offering, but hugely we are making an impact on the people's lives who are actually growing them. So it's a big part of what doTERRA is about. It's called co-impact sourcing, and it goes much deeper than that. They have their Healing Hands Foundation, where they will support a lot of projects that are happening in the area. So they don't just look after the farmers, but they look after the community. So when they visit or when they have people on the ground there, they're like, actually, this community, when they went to Haiti to meet with the people who were growing the vetiver, they noticed that the women and children were walking every day and coming back in the evening with buckets. They were spending the whole day collecting water, and they tested the water and found that it was full of all sorts of pathogens and awful things. So they're like, well, it only costs about $5,000 to dig a well. It's really not an expensive thing, but that's a lot of money to them. And they're like, well, if you're producing this amazing oil for us, we more than that is something that we so easily can do for you. So they put in running water, they put in schools, they put in sewage systems, they put in hospitals, but not just the hospitals, they fund it and they staff it. So the Healing Hands Foundation is a massive part of doTERRA. So they have things like the Hope oil. I wish I could grab that out actually. Here it is. Yeah, this is the Hope oil. So I think this is £20 or £24, something like that. And all £24 of those, or I can't remember the exact price, all of that goes to the Healing Hands Foundation, and that helps work with all the different projects they're working on. So they've got a massive thing going on in Haiti for supporting children that they've rescued from child sex trafficking. So they've built a big complex called Rafa House, and they support women, well, they're often children with babies, back, educate them, help them to look after their children and bring them back into society. So many things that they're doing. So yeah, if you buy something like the Hope, also the Rose hand lotion, 100% of that goes to the Healing Hands, and they'll project match, so or fund match. So they'll, at the moment, if you donate, you can donate through, when you do an order, you can do a Healing Hands donation. And at the moment, they're matching that for the Hawaii fires. So pound for pound, dollar for dollar, they're doubling that. They did the same in Nepal when the earthquakes hit. They raised over $600,000 US. So just so much that they're doing. I could literally talk for hours and hours about all the different projects they do, but it's an amazing company. terms of where they're sourcing it to give us the best oils, but also the impact they're having in those places massively. And I've had some hands-on experience. We raised $5,000 in Australia just from doing some business trainings, and they matched that and they gave that to Days for Girls, which is all about helping educate women throughout menstruation and providing menstrual hygiene packs. So, I know we've worked on it hands-on, and they're just brilliant and so supportive, and make it as easy as possible to get involved with these charitable projects.
Yeah, I've listened to a few people speak. I listened to, who's that lady in Australia? Was it Jessica?
Jessie Reimers?
Yes.
Yes.
I listened to her talk the other day, and that was really interesting. And I think that the overwhelming message that come back to me really was that it was more of an emotion of sincerity.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was quite blown away by all the information that she was giving. I'd highly recommend people check her out as well.
Yeah, Jessie's who enrolled me. I joined through Jessie. Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah, she's got so much information and a very genuine person, very, very genuine. But the little hope one, what's in that?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like a perfume, so it's just a really nice scent to wear. So it's got bergamot, frankincense, cananga, vanilla, and then limonene, linalool, which is part of the various citrus oils. So all the components of that. So it just smells very so lovely. It's kind of citrus and vanilla together. That's the overriding smell. Yes, roll on. Okay. Yeah. So you can just put it on your pulse points and wear it as a perfume. Just really lovely. And I just that it also make really beautiful gifts to give people, because not only are you giving it to somebody, but then you've also given to these projects, like double giving when you give it to somebody. Yeah. So really lovely thing.
And the vetiver oil, it reminded me that as a reflexologist, and I do Ayurvedic reflexology, so if you were to mix some vetiver oil in some carrier oil and put it down the bone that's on your big toe side, basically the big toe, that's your spine reflex, but along all of that are all of your chakra points as well. So if you wanted to re-energize yourself from an energetic point of view, then you can mix a little bit of vetiver oil up with some coconut oil and literally just kind of like glide along and rub that gently in, and that would have quite an effect.
That's amazing, because I usually use vetiver just on the big toe, on the pad. Like that's the big toe on the pad, and then a crease in between.
Yeah, which is
when I do that,
it's all the brain reflexes, so it'll have a calming effect.
It's incredible. It knocks me out. I have the best sleep. But yeah, nice to know. I'll carry on. I'll go down there as well.
All the way down, and even there on your hand. So from a hand perspective, you could sort of put it down here as well. So these are quite powerful points on the feet and the hands, and I have used them over 10 years, so I can guarantee that they work.
Amazing. I'm definitely going to try that. That's fantastic. Another one that lives on my bedside table.
Yes. So that's it's a really, really lovely oil, and I haven't got that one, but I'm going to put it on. I've still got a list of things, so I'm going to gradually build up my oil collection, because there's just so many, and even now, every now and then I'm having a quick flick through to sort of see what catches my eye, and magnolia does. I quite fancy a magnolia oil.
Magnolia. Magnolia's got a higher linalool content than lavender, so we think of lavender as a really calming oil, but is it like 73 times the amount or something? It's the most, maybe, I can't remember the exact how the figures work, but it incredibly calming and relaxing oil.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's well, I've got a magnolia tree at the front. That probably why it puts it into my mind so much. But
that's probably a good thing to have to walk past before you come into your house.
Yeah. yes. No, it's lovely. It really is lovely. Well, there we go. That is one amazing journey today into the world of doTERRA oils, which we continue to love and and there's still so much to learn. So thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Thanks as ever for having me.
There's just so much to learn and share and try. I mean, the goal of all of this really is to increase people's perception, awareness of how much you can use them, you know, because I think that's where people just think of oils as a bit of a one-trick pony kind of thing, but actually there's lots and lots of ways that we're discovering to use them. So and in the kit, and I will share a link to the kit because I still think it's fabulous, still think it's fabulous value for money, but we've only got 2 left to do. And but even after that, I still think we should do one about travel oils as well, because I'm especially keen on that as well, which I think everyone that's going to go on a holiday in 2023 or 2024 would be good to know as well. What would be good oils and mixtures to make for you know, keeping well, keeping everything where it needs to be whilst on a wonderful trip somewhere. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I literally just made it up for my daughter going away, so
Wow.
I can show you exactly what I gave her.
Yes, perfect. So we'll say goodbye to everybody for now. Thanks everyone for watching and watching all our videos. Hope you've enjoyed it and maybe jotted down a few notes for yourself as to how you can use some of these great oils. And we will catch up with everybody really soon.
Thanks so much.
So thank you very much, everyone, and bye for now.